morning, everybody. Today, the 28th of Tammuz, is the Yartzeit of the Yismach Moshe, the patriarch of the Teitelbaum Hasidic dynasty. He was the Rav in Il, in Hungary, one of the earliest Hasidic Rabbanim in Hungary. Grow up Hasidish. He became Hasidish later in life, but came from a distinguished rabbinical family before that, and from his lineage, his son was Blazer Nissen from Drobish, and his son was the Sigurd of the Yet of Lev. His son was then the Kedushas Yontiv. Kedushas Yontiv had two famous sons. One was the Yartzeit, the Sigurd, and the younger son was much more famous, the Gadol Ador, the Rosh Kol Bnei Agola, the Satmarov, and the current Rebbes of Satmar are the Einiklach of the Yartzeit. In any event, the Yartzeit son, whose name was Rav Moshe, the Berach Moshe was named after Yismach Moshe, and then his sons are the sons of the Berach Moshe are the current Rebbes of Satmar. All this being said, excuse me. So, the Yismach Moshe was a Yid who was very seriously concerned with eschatology in an extremely emotional way, but in a way of a true tzaddik. The Satmarov said that certain things that were attributed to Yismach Moshe, in a sense, if they were said about other people, he would be highly skeptical. But the Yismach Moshe was worthy of the things that were claimed about him. For example, the Ramah Fano writes about, it's really a Gemara in Menachos about the Beis Hamikdash in Shemayim in heaven, that there's a temple in the heavenly Jerusalem. We know this already from Isaiah, and the Yismach Moshe said he had a vision of this, and the Satmarov said, if someone else would have said that, he wouldn't have. He would have been somewhat skeptical. But he said, "But Yismach Moshe, he was worthy to these types of claims." And similarly, visions that he had of his previous reincarnations, things like this. In general, Satmarov was a skeptical person. He didn't buy into a lot of the Rebbish stories, the Hasidic stories. He wasn't a big fan of a lot of these things. But he said when it came to his holy ancestor, not just because it was his ancestor, but because of his greatness in Torah and so forth, and piety, he said that when it came to the Yismach Moshe, he was someone who would be worthy for such things, that when he makes these claims, that it wasn't just a fantasy, it was an actual experience that he had. Whatever that means, we can discuss what that means, but now's not the time. As I said, the Yismach Moshe was looking forward constantly, when is Mashiach coming? To the point, at a certain point in his life, he started to wear shtreimel every day, just in case Mashiach should come. then on Shabbos he wore a shtreimel with a white cap in the middle. And he was always excited. Maybe now Mashiach is coming, so forth. Now we're in the midst of the 3 weeks. We're going to soon start the 9 days tomorrow night, which is a time of national mourning. We mourn over the destruction of the temple. Excuse me. The Gemara in Tainus near the end says, "Kol dar shaloi nivna beis hamikdash b'yamav kilul nechra b'yamav." It says any generation in which the temple was not rebuilt in its days, it's as if it was destroyed in its days. So the story goes, the story I want to share, is that the Yismach Moshe was learning with his son, the Reblazer Nissen. And when they came to this Gemara, this teaching in the Talmud, that any generation which the temple was not rebuilt, as if it was destroyed in that generation, Yismach Moshe became very upset emotionally. So Blazer Nissen calmed him down with the following chiddush. He said that, my father, didn't you teach us that the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash brought atonement of sin? That the pain that we experience seeing that the temple was destroyed, that's enough to atone for our sins. And so, and to the point where the sages say that God would have taken out his anger on flesh and blood, but instead he took out his anger on wood and stone. With this being said, Blazer Nissen said we could interpret this passage in a positive light to a certain extent. Any generation in which the temple was not rebuilt, and we assume that we're still mourning, we want the temple to be rebuilt, and we're very upset that we don't have our temple, the mitzvahs that we're missing out on, and so forth. It is as if it was destroyed in its time, meaning that we are considered as if the temple was destroyed, that we experience the same forgiveness of sin, the same atonement as that generation in which the temple was destroyed. Yismach Moshe, when he heard this, he said, "My son, you have comforted me." Right? Thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe, comment, and all the best.